The winter campaign, update 2. Hello, Will and Lisa.
Hello, Jack.
We are back, not as cold as last week.
No,
We've got the heating on in the studio. Right, we said last week we're going to talk about specific topics that we want to focus on during the winter campaign. And this week it's going to be, Will...
The hobline.
The hobline. I will bring up what I wanted to call it, but I was told not to. And then we'll talk about some events coming up in the near future. We mentioned the hobline briefly last week, along with utilities, wet room, shower room. All those we'll cover in the coming weeks and months. Why don't you give us a brief lowdown of what the hobline is and why it's so necessary, specifically at this time of year?
Okay, well, the hobline is basically a telephone number that we are going to use to phone people.
Yep.
Maybe you're somebody who is socially isolated. Maybe doesn't get phone calls from family or friends, or you just find yourself alone. And what we're going to do is we're going to discuss this with you and find out when you'd like us to phone. So you might get somebody like Lisa or one of our hobline trained staff.
From what I can understand, and Lisa, you mentioned this about somebody being cold and alone last week. We're going to phone people, and we're going to have people who are trained in that way to engage with these people who can't get out and about, maybe.
Basically just having a bit of a blather and a chat, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we think it's a really successful way of addressing an increasing worry which we've identified, which is social isolation.
Calls can come in as well on this hotline, so people can ring and say, I would like to be part of this, or for just general inquiries.
You can make a referral. So the idea is basically, it is two ways. So in other words, we will take calls in, we will make calls, but the idea is that during the week you get a call from somebody from House of Bread, and we're going to understand what your needs are, and then we will have a log. So we might say to you, it's your birthday coming up, or how is Auntie Deirdre? Yes. It's to encourage a more holistic approach, my favourite word. Yes. So you can come to House of Bread, or we can come to you down the end of the telephone line.
There was a video I saw recently where a young chap, I say young, my age, which is young, I guess, compared to...
Certainly compared to me.
Us too.
I didn't say you both, I just pointed at that. But he spent a week on his own and got rid of his mobile phone because, obviously young people are in contact with people all the time. And it had a great impact on him.
And
Fantastic.
The strap line is the hobline when you need us. So the idea is you could sponsor this and help perpetuate it and develop it, because we see this as an initial starter. So
this is not counselling by phone. We are not the Samaritans. We are just a bunch of slightly crazy people, maybe, who care about other people and who are willing to listen
and know the value of
a chat. Yes.
And so if you were thinking about sponsoring, literally a couple of £100 would help us run this for a couple of months. So it's not an expensive way, but it is a very inclusive way. And
it's a very practical way to help people.
So just think about that, the hobline. You were going to say what we were originally going to call it?
We weren't originally going to call it. I wanted to call it the bread line. House of Bread, phone line, the bread line. 2 on the nose, I believe that was determined. That's the hotline. What else? First thing we should mention is the Danceathon. We've been shouting at you incorrect information, and that is that it is actually from 2 p.m. till 4 p.m, not from 4 till 6.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
So sorry, apologies for that. Correct details: Stafford Manor High School, November the 12th. 2 p.m. till 4 p.m. It's Dance Activate who are putting it on for us, and do turn up. £10 if you want to get involved, £1 if you just want to come and watch.
There's going to be things to buy, packets of crystal,
there's going to be a raffle. There's going to be I think there's a raffle. There's going to be raffle, prizes,
spot prizes probably.
So it's going to be great fun. 12th of November. So do come along. It's a Sunday, so no real excuse.
A musical diet thing, sort of.
A what?
A musical diet. You were able to lose weight in preparation for Christmas.
The next one, let's see if this time of year again when Will gets it consistently wrong, what have we got to do, Will?
Vote for Aviva.
No!
Aviva! Oh, Aviva!
The Aviva Community Fund competition is up and running once a year. We did it last year and we got £1,000. Thank you for everybody who voted.
Yeah, I've voted.
Yep, I voted as well.
I voted.
It opened
Have you voted?
Have you voted? We need your vote. It takes literally seconds. If you've got a Facebook account, it takes hardly any time at all. And you just log on and you have up to 10 votes to vote for any projects you like. We hope that you'll give us all 10. And what it is, it's going money towards a bread oven.
Very exciting.
So we can have our very own bread oven and we can make bread wherever we wish, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So
The link is coming up to where you need to go now under me. So that's Aviva Community Fund.
Aviva Community Fund.
Aviva.
Aviva.
It's really great. Finally, we are going to go, but just a little teaser. Next week, we will be talking about a really, really exciting thing. A thing we're really excited about. We have somebody running for us in the London Marathon.
It is amazing because...
The proper London Marathon. Thank you very much for watching.
we got up to 48 harvests.
48 harvests. That's more than we had last week, so I've got to list them all again. No, I'm not going to. Thank you to Lisa and Will.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jack.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yes, just before we go, we forgot to mention a little thank you needs to go out to what was her name? Elizabeth Rose Walker.
Elizabeth Rose Walker.
Yep, who handpicked these apples for us from a garden near her. So thank you very much for that. And we'll be pressing these apples and making them into apple juice.
For the
Go on.
the core costs
Well
of
done.
House of Bread by selling the apples. So thank you, Miss Walker, for that.
Bye.
Blame Joseph.